For 8 years, my coaches have been telling me don't do personal examples, but I'm only doing this one more time, so hell, screw it. If it fits, it fits. Nico Battle is one of the debaters that I have the absolute joy of coaching in LD debate in high school. And Nico, for his freshman year, went to a huge school, which was incredibly successful in debate. And then, in his sophomore year, he moved to Washington, to a district that barely had debate at all, and a school that had no team for him to compete on. So instead of wallowing in his sadness, okay, he did that for like an hour, but after the hour of crying, Nico decided to take matters into his own hands and actually took charge to start a team at his school and has qualified to the NSDA National Tournament this summer. You can tell I'm a little bit proud. But the story of Nico is so important here because the success that he has found in debate has been solely crafted by his own willingness to push forward and to make success for himself. And sometimes it doesn't take other people truly helping us to find our success. Sometimes, like in every sappy movie my grandma likes basically ever, success is inside of us the whole time. Something echoed in today's quotation. Sometimes the words of a fake wizard are all you need to find your way home, as stated by Karen Bowers from the NFA Hall of Fame. Ultimately, what we draw from Karen's quotation today is that sometimes it doesn't matter if the wizard is real or fake. It is inside of us where we find that success. And we agree and offer that we make our own success for 2 reasons. First, because success is individually defined, and second, because hard work begets resolution. But the first way we agree with Karen and offer that even the words of a fake wizard can help us find our way to success is because we make our own success because it's individually defined. Yes, if you're shooting to win the national tournament in college when you're still a high schooler, probably not going to work out. However, if you set a goal that's achievable, like, I don't know, winning the high school tournament as a high schooler, suddenly you can craft that success by setting your own goals. We can understand this by looking to a theory of Charles Baxter and applying it to Mark Z. Danielewski's work. First, Charles Baxter is a literary theorist who discusses the concept of characters as human beings. One of the most important things, he says, for a character is the realism of having attainable goals. As humans, we are always striving for something. We always want to achieve a goal. And Baxter argues that the most important way to make a character in literature feel real is to put them in real situations with genuine goals that they can achieve. To understand how this applies on a human level, we look to the work of Mark Z. Danielewski. Danielewski is a postmodern fiction writer whose work, House of Leaves, is incredibly complex, and though it generally follows only one character, part of what makes it so accessible despite being high fiction is that he utilizes smaller characters throughout the work who are believable, characters who have achievable goals and purposes, who, despite being in this strange, inaccessible postmodern world, are still accessible because they are so human, because they have these believable human goals. Thus, by looking at Baxter's theory of how goals make characters human and applying it to Danielewski's creation of human characters, we see that success is individually defined when we create those human goals. And since this is such a genuine human thing, it shows that we make our own success. But the second way that we ultimately create our own success is because hard work begets a sense of resolution. No matter what happens in the end, if you really work hard and you put 100% of yourself into something, it feels really, really good. We can understand this through the Game Grumps and Oberstfeld v. Hodges. First, the Game Grumps are a YouTube channel who just plays video games and makes jokes about it. But part of what's so awesome about watching the Grumps is that they both came from these backgrounds where they were incredibly unsuccessful. They both dropped out of high school. They both had pretty unsuccessful early careers and worked odd jobs for a long time. However, because they worked so hard on this particular channel, they have become multi-million-dollar successes. And they have become one of the biggest YouTube channels in history. Because they worked so hard, they found this resolution no matter what happened earlier. And in a more concrete and liberal example, we look to the success of Oberstfeld v. Hodges. I remember sitting on the bus this summer when I was on tour with the basically professional marching band that I march with, and we saw that Oberstfeld v. Hodges had passed, and the Love Wins movement had finally won after all the hard work that we had put into it. And it was such an incredible moment. To understand that the hard work we had put in for so long in these legal battles and the speeches we had been making in this community, the letters to senators that actually accomplished something, when we saw the success of that hard work, the feeling of resolution was unmatched. ultimately proving through the Game Grumps and Oversfeld v. Hodges that hard work begets a sense of resolution, and thus we make our own success when we work hard. So, when returning to today's quotation, sometimes the words of a fake wizard are all you need to find your way home by Karen Bowers, we agreed and offered we make our own success. First, because it is individually defined, and second, because our hard work begets a sense of resolution. So no matter what might happen now, the resolution is so real.